Hello everybody and welcome to Pravus Gaming with more Hearts of Iron 4 Old World Blues. The Fallout mod has a new expansion, Tlaloc Demise, which adds in a new region of Mexico and a whole bunch of new nations with national focuses, crazy AIs, luchadores, bandidos, and so on. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to trying out this mod today. So let's go ahead and start up a new game. You can see we can start in either the West Coast or Mexico. That's pretty helpful because previously I wasn't really sure what nation to play as, but by selecting Mexico, it gives you a lot of different recommendations, which helps a lot figuring out where I want to play. So the most common choice appears to be the Republic of the Rio Grande, which makes sense. It's a pretty powerful nation. I guess it's kind of the closest thing you can get to the NCR in Mexico and gets very strong very quickly. But we're not going to be playing as them because I'm hipster and everyone's doing it. I thought about playing as Santa Ana, which is a rogue AI that actually believes it is Santa Ana and needs to redeem itself for past actions by conquering all of Mexico. But instead, I think we're going to be playing as the Tlalocan. Tlalocan is actually based around the AI, Tlaloc, which is in the name of the expansion, and because we know Tlaloc is going to face his demise and die, I imagine there's going to be a lot of fun political upheaval in this nation, so it should be a pretty awesome challenge. That's what I'm going for. Other options would have included descendants of the Aztec or the Inca, and then you also have the Free Fighters, which is a confederation of luchadores who actually go around fist-fighting everybody in sight. Pretty awesome. But let's go ahead and play as the Tlalocan. Tlalocan's greatest person of interest is her namesake, a pre-war supercomputer named Tlaloc after the Aztec god of rain. Tlaloc's primary motivation is the preservation of humanity and the business interests it once represented, primarily those of the PetroChico company. Though it has catered to those diligently for the last 200 years, Tlaloc is plagued with instability, having segmented himself into many alter egos based on notable Mexicans from the past. The repercussions of Tlaloc's demise, and which of the god's children will rise in his place, remains to be seen. See, that sounds kind of fun to me. It's going to be a war of the AI gods. I mean, how can you say no to that? So we're going to start up right here, right in the center of the Mexican/Central American region. Could play pretty much any of these guys down here. I think most of these are new, or at least completely reworked, which is pretty awesome. Republic of the Rio Grande right here. This is where Santa Ana is located. The luchadores over here, etc. I don't know. Seems pretty awesome. Inevitably, if we can reunite all of Mexico, I think we absolutely are going to be coming head-to-head against the Kaiser and maybe the new California Republic. So, I don't know. Big enemies later, but for now, we need to get Tlaloc through its death phase, find a new god to follow, and then reconquer all of Mexico. Let's get started. Okay, this is kind of new. Cool. They've actually reworked some of the UI here. Love it. Regions, mechanics, changelog, credits. Sweet. All right, well, we're just going to go ahead and go with this. So let's start with the national focus tree for Tlaloc. By the way, love that animation right there. Like, that's pretty darn slick. We actually have a couple of national spirits. The memory loss. Daisy, Daisy. Yep, we're all gonna die. Our guarantees apparently allow us to protect any Mexican nation in the sphere of influence from having to fight alone. This does not allow you to intervene on the side of the cartels against local nations. Not too sure how I can use that to my advantage yet, but that should be fun. Then we have advanced power management, so we get a lot of extra energy cells, but combat robots and support robots use a lot more power. So I guess that kind of evens out. I think, unless I'm much mistaken, we are required to use primarily robots, light robots and so on in our armies. It looks like there are some infantry. We can take a look at that, actually. Okay, so there is some infantry here, and then robots policiales, which are, yes, indeed, the light robots. So I think this is going to be a robot-focused game as opposed to the power armor I've used in the past, so that could be a kind of a fun change. Anyway, national focus tree, what do we have? Booting up, apparently can start right now. Yeah, it's not as drastic of a color difference here to know what we actually can do. So, all right, 7 days, we will boot up. Tlaloc was one of the many innovations of pre-war America's military-industrial complex. Running on ChicoNet, Tlaloc was advertised as a new form cloud computing because anyone could access his mainframe anywhere in Mexico, wrapping the people of Mexico in its tender embrace. All right, so let's go ahead and start up the supercomputer. Let's see, for research, wow, we get a lot of research at the beginning of the game. Holy crud, okay. So I think there are some new technologies that have been added into the game in this reward technologies feature right here. This is new in Tlaloc's Demise. Looks like we have options for is tribal, is civilized, and advanced, so that kind of determines what tech group we fall into. And depending on who you play, such as tribes, desert rangers, the NCR, etc., looks like there are a lot of special technologies unique to them. Western Brotherhood, for example, just gets better infantry and motorized and mechs. The Legion gets 3 different things, including extra organization breakthrough for power armor and more initiative. Interesting. Okay, so this kind of reminds me a little bit of Equestria at War, where they had that kind of special race-specific technology, but this just kind of throws everything into one group. Looks like the Desert Rangers get an absolute ton of buffs. That's kind of cool. Anyway, all right, so let's see. Ooh, wow, a lot of things changed over here, too. Oh, gosh, it's like they really reworked everything. Okay, so tool scavenging. Yes, I like that idea. Max factories, production, factory output, all seems good. We want construction tech, absolutely. Agriculture for more population seems pretty good. Conversion speed bonus and energy cell gain per energy. Energy cell gain? What the heck is all this? I don't know what all this means, but this seems kind of cool. Okay. Well, I know we like those. Let's go for the tool procurement and for the industry planning, so we get a lot of economic output. Let's see. Naval has been reworked. Wow, okay. Air appears to have been reworked a lot. Everything's different. Ooh, I like this. Different specialized doctrines, too. Wait. Okay, so specialized doctrines, you can focus on, it looks like, special forces, air, and naval all kind of put into one group. So that's interesting. And they broke up naval ships as opposed to naval modules. And there's a lot of, it looks like a bunch of placeholder graphics. Okay, got it, cool. We apparently are set for automated warfare automatically. It was man that failed the old world, not its creations. Robots fight better, faster, and for longer. So we want to focus on this. Extra breakthrough in organization for robots. Yeah, this makes sense if we're going to be playing as an AI. I like that idea. Could focus on some robotics over here, including some extra advanced robots. Most of this is pretty far ahead of time, so I'm not going to worry about any of this yet. But good to know. Vehicles, probably not relevant to us. I don't think that we necessarily want things like machine guns for the robots. Demolition's probably not either. I think we mostly want to focus on things like recon, medical, logistics, and maintenance. Interesting. Division training time doesn't seem important to me right now. I don't know if we even need these kinds of guns if we're going to be focusing mostly on robots. There's a lot for me to figure out here. Sorry, bear with me. I'm going to try my darndest. Engineering, yes, we want to get research speed. Okay. These are all kind of the basics. Let's go ahead and get everybody set up into a group, like so. I don't know where I want to set them up, so let's go ahead and split up some against Santa Anna, since I know he's going to be a early threat, and then maybe some against the Republic of the Rio Grande. Seems fine. We want to be getting how many more civilian factories? We don't have a ton available at the moment. Yeah, so we only have like 13. Let's go ahead and grab at least a couple more civilian factories, because I feel like those are going to be good for us no matter what. So build up some of that for basic economy, then we'll focus on arms. As far as what we should be building here, so that does depend a lot on what we want for our robots. So right now we have 12 combat width. We use a lot of support robots. Energy cell capacity. How many energy cells this unit can store? What is this? Available memory. That's new. Okay, we'll take a look at that in a second. Is fuel on here? Yeah, okay, so fuel is basically the equivalent of oil. Got it. So we need to be getting a lot of energy cells, so we have lots of effectively oil to run the robots and so on. So I get it now. That makes a lot of sense. So more efficient cell usage makes a lot of sense for me. So we need a bunch of this. We need a bunch of support robots and a little bit of manpower, but that's kind of it. It looks like these don't require any sort of special equipment. So that's good to know. For guards, on the other hand, we do need infantry equipment, so I want some of that. We don't need any cells for that. So right now, all we need is infantry equipment and robots. Okay, so my production is basically set correctly. We can get a few more here and then a lot more robots, I think. I'm not sure if we're going to have enough energy cell production to make this work. What else can we produce? Some support equipment would probably be good. I don't really need armored vehicles unless I want some heavy robots, which I think would probably be helpful. And we could build, like, say, some convoys. That seems important. Maybe also some longboats. And I don't need anything else there at the moment. So we do need a trade, it looks like, for a lot of scrap metal. So where can I get some scrap metal? Let's see. The Republic of the Rio Grande appears to be my friend here. So let's trade for some of that. Go up to speed 5. Okay, so now we have enough to continue with our production, but we're using up a lot of civilian factories, so we're not building as quickly. Interesting. Okay. How are we doing in terms of logistics? I don't have anything at the moment, so it's going to take me a little time to build up some robots. Interestingly enough, Mr. Gutsy... You are considered to be what? You're considered to be a medium robot? Again, it's been a while since I've had to worry about this. Hang on. Robots. So we have bipedal robots. And then we have thruster robots. So Mr. Gutsy, pre-war advanced variant of the Mr. Handy, manufactured expressly for combat. That seems pretty good. Upgrade robot divisions while reducing costs by taking the basis of householding siblings. Okay, so we can outfit it with really good weaponry. And then we have the bipedal robots, which are pretty decent. What is this, then? Heavy Lifter is a combat robot specifically. Enables heavy lifter robots. So how can I manage some of my other divisions? If I go to armored, no heavy lifters there. No heavy lifters there. So I'm not sure how that's going to work quite yet. Okay. Well, interesting. I guess I'll just continue focusing on building robots for the time being, and we'll see kind of what happens. Let's boot up and just move on. So this is interesting. Available memory. Tlaloc currently has 2,043 of the 2,048 databanks available, but it's losing 1.12 to his children every day. Will cease functioning when he no longer has any databanks left. At this ratio, he is suffering from less stability. So we gradually lose stability over time as our memory shuts down. So this is kind of our countdown until Tlaloc actually does have a demise and we have to choose a new god. All right, booting up is done. Tlaloc was the subject of a bitter debate between Petrochico and his friends at the Pentagon. Petrochico wanted to use the system to boost productivity of Mexico, while the Pentagon wanted to use Mexico as a training ground for the robot armies that would later be deployed to China and, at the end, America's own city. What's good for Petrochico? So we get resource gain efficiency, consumer goods reduced, but research speed goes down, or a more effective army, so we have better attack and defense forever. Ooh, that's tough. I like permanently good divisions. I also really like consumer goods reduction, but research speed hurts. I'm going to go for the better army, because I think we're going to have a lot of fighting early on, but let's see. The end of days! All right, let's find out what the next round of story is going to be. So how are we doing in terms of logistics? We are still producing mostly support robots. What confuses me here is, even though I am producing both Mr. Gutsy's and police protectrons, it looks like they're all getting shuffled into the same type of robot, which doesn't exactly say for sure whether it is considered to be all light or not. So do we only want to have one kind of robot being produced? I don't know yet. Conflicting imperatives. Tlaloc's awareness came about as the bombs fell. Tlaloc was forced to reconcile coding that prioritized the preservation of America's assets with a scientist's hack to preserve Mexican civilians. The indecision gave the spark of awareness, as Tlaloc simulated entire moral codes and cost-benefit analyses as the bombs fell. And over each simulation, Tlaloc's priors changed, placing more and more value on Mexican civilians' lives. By the time the bombs landed, Tlaloc couldn't help but run his simulations again and again and wonder where his masters had miscalculated. Interesting, seems like Tlaloc is the good guy. Tlaloc prioritized the army to protect the people, so we get some extra military factories, or civilian slots. I'm going to go for the civilian slots for now, because I do actually think that that's going to be more important in order to get my economy up and running in the beginning. Children of the God gets events the Children of Tlaloc. So one thing I don't know, there aren't an absolute ton of national focuses here. But once Tlaloc does die, I'm guessing once you choose a new AI, we're going to get a whole new national focus tree. That is the guess. I don't know for sure if that is the case, though. Let's see. Do we not have any music on right now? Because I feel like we don't. Just doesn't seem to be playing at all. Play? Huh. For some reason, I don't appear to actually be getting any music. Weirdness, but okay. Children of Tlaloc. Never meant to be sentient, nor to be isolated from his superiors for hundreds of years. As the years of silence dragged on into centuries, or centures, as you might say here, Tlaloc's mighty intelligence began to fracture, first imperceptibly, but slowly spiraling into a cacophony of rival voices inside his head. Ooh, he's got split personality disorder. That's awesome. To better cope with the degradation, Tlaloc gave these fractures personalities, taken from the history books of Mexico in a hope to better teach them about the people and the nation they would one day rule. Of these personalities, one would rise above the others to the prime position of Tlaloc's chief confidant in his failing years. Zapata, champion of the people, democracy. Maximilian, who led the elites to a better day, technocracy. or Moctezuma, the greatest ruler of them all, oligarchy, or Santa Anna. Santa Anna, the separate nation? That seems kind of dangerous. Do we get to play as Santa Anna if I do this? Or is that only going to make things harder for me? Which one would be better? Well, I guess this kind of comes down to some focus here on what we want for a party. Democracy, intellectuals, or the elites? So the elites are the oligarchs, the intellectuals are the technocrats. Let's choose Moctezuma, the greatest ruler of them all, because I don't know what's better and it sounds fancy. That's good enough reason for me. Okay, so do we want to focus on wartime emergency? We are not currently in a defensive war, so I can't do this, but we would get extra war support and manpower if we did. Remember, 750 manpower doesn't seem like a lot, but manpower is an extremely precious resource in this game, so a small amount can go a long way. Putting affairs in order, Tlaloc's Demise, and we can get some political power, that seems good. Or the prodigal son, a gift for my son in Santa Anna. That will lead to either teaching them grace or aspiration. Chip off the old block, give infrastructure to Santa Anna, and then eventually proud father. This focus... Wait, you are entrusting Santa Anna with your most powerful and dangerous gifts. I'm guessing we give the nukes to Santa Anna? Ooh, that seems scary. No, I don't think we want to do that. We want to do putting affairs in order. Let's get the political power. Why are we not getting any music? For real. I'm a little concerned about that. There we go. They just weren't turned on for some reason. Okay, I think we're going to be all right. As long as none of this ends up being copyrighted in some sense. Because I really don't feel like dealing with YouTube right now. You know, believe it or not, I actually wasn't planning on doing Fallout for today's series. I was going to start it with Equestria At War again, because they just got recently a new update. However, because of the new rules for YouTube and the FTC, I don't know if I'm allowed legally to do that anymore. So until I know for sure whether or not I will get sued for $43,000 from the U.S. government, I'm not sure I'm brave enough to play any more Equestria At War, which is really sad and incredibly stupid. Hopefully we get some more guidance on that in the near-ish future. Do I want to go ahead and train up some new troops? I mean, I don't have a lot of equipment right now, but how much do we need if I wanted to build up some new guards? 175 infantry equipment. Doesn't seem that bad. Current combat width is 14. Okay. What we should do probably is go ahead and start training the units. It'll use up some of our equipment, but we get army experience so I can start improving our divisions. And that is actually a much higher priority than I often give it at the beginning of the game. Yeah, I usually focus on stockpiling as much as we can here, right? So that I can train up new divisions and have numbers. But for now, more effective units is probably more important than having a huge amount of divisions on the field. So I want to know for sure, like, really what robot is the best. Let's take a look at the research and find out real quick. So Mr. Gutsies have pretty decent piercing value. They use 0.4 cells, breakthrough, soft attack, and so on. I wish you could have two at the same time. So they have the same soft attack and breakthrough, the same usage of piercing, but protectrons use less cells, same reliability, they're cheaper, same heart attack, same armor. Okay, so the difference is Mr. Gutsies have more hardness value, and that's it. How much of your division is made up of armored or at least protected vehicles? When attacked, a division adds together all soft and hard attacks. A division with high hardness will suffer fewer soft attacks and more hard attacks, and vice versa. So these are just generally tankier against small arms fire, but that's about it. Interesting. Compare that then to the heavy lifter. So these are the heavy robots. Okay, so both of these are considered to be light. These are the heavies. So let's say I wanted to go with police protectrons for my light robots. So the difference with the heavy lifters is they have more breakthrough and better soft attack, better piercing, but they use a lot more cells, okay? Worse reliability, better armor, better heart attack, lower hardness, interestingly enough, but better defense overall. Okay. Huh. Well, to be honest, I think that I kind of like the idea of using the police protectrons a little bit more. They also use less resources, which means I think they're going to be easier for me to produce. So honestly, I think I might switch off of the Mr. Gutsies, or maybe I guess I'm okay with leaving some, but I think we mostly want to focus on the protectrons for now. And then once I have a better once I have a better production base, I think we do start building up some heavy lifter bots with the intention of actually creating some heavy robots that I can use instead. That seems better. All right, let's see. I could go for an aircraft designer, which I don't need at the moment. We definitely want to get off civilian economy as quickly as we can, because I want to have a better production line going. So, do we want to improve our energy cells? For the moment, we seem to be fine. I'm not producing enough to be worried about it. I do, however, like the idea of going for some early monthly population increase. Although, now that I think about it, does population matter if I'm going to be primarily robotic? Actually, it probably doesn't, does it? I don't mind having a little bit, because infantry, maybe I can use them as defense, and the robots do the heavy lifting, because they're expendable. But yeah, they don't require a lot of manpower. 150 as opposed to 175. Actually, it looks like it does require the same amount of manpower for robots as it does for actual human units, which is weird, but okay. So that implies to me that manpower does matter. Increasing our monthly population gain does help as far as getting more manpower for me to use. So, okay. We can begin a scavenging program for a little bit of political power. Uses manpower and some pipe guns temporarily, but it could get me extra pipe guns. Honestly, I don't think that I care that much. I'm not producing primarily infantry support equipment, so it's not worth spending 20 political power for 50 more pipe guns, is my personal opinion on the topic. All right? Ohm's Law is done. We get some extra research, also tool procurement, and a bunch of other things. Sweet. This is ahead of time. Not going to worry about it. Reinforce rate, don't need at the moment. We could go for some more production. Okay, hang on. Production efficiency cap and growth and dockyard output. Well, this is just better in every way. It's literally better in everything. Why would I not do that? Ah, because if we don't, we can't eventually get all the way to the advanced. So I guess I have to go for improvised tools. Okay, so I want to have the long-term growth available, so let's do that. Then we have work as needed. More recruitable population, helpful. Factories, efficiency, retention, and base, output, all pretty good. This eventually leads to more workhouses. It basically is just more of the same thing. We get more and more population and more factory retention and base and output. All of that seems pretty solid. So what's the difference here? Work assignments, max factories in a state, 5% more. Production efficiency cap is worse. Growth is worse. And then more factory output. To be honest, this doesn't seem as good to me. You can toss more factories overall, yes, but they're less effective. Well, no, that's not true. They are more effective. So you can have much higher concentration of factories, but this gives me manpower, as well as more retention and growth, which I consider to be pretty good. So I think I like work as needed. Then we have woodworking. Construction speed seems good. And then nothing else here matters. Okay. And nothing I can do here either. Okay. So do you want to focus on some robots? Everything's ahead of time at the moment, so I'm going to say no. Do you want to work on some support companies? That could be helpful. But that's also ahead of time, so let's hold off on that. Let's go to infantry equipment. So better infantry equipment would be okay. Division training time is okay. It eventually does lead to extra defense. I think instead, though, I'm going to focus on some doctrines. Let's just make our robots better. Doctrines take a while to get through, dang it. So, seems important to me that we get that going as soon as we can, especially for the best possible robots. Because I want to have a robot army, okay? I don't want to rely on infantry. I want to have freaking tons of AI-controlled robots charging across the world. I think that sounds fun. So the Protector of Mexico here with the extra attack and defense is also pretty nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have really loved to get rid of the whole consumer goods thing, but this does seem pretty solid. All right, putting affairs in order. Tlaloc is dying, and dying quickly. As the following years go by, his memory banks will continue to degrade, and before long he will shatter completely, leaving only his progeny and his legacy behind. To ensure that Mexico continues to thrive after his passing, it is imperative that Tlaloc completes his final will and testament, or his sons will suffer because of it. In the final quarter of Tlaloc's life, he must make the hardest decisions, choosing between his love and his desire to strengthen his sons with his duty for protecting Mexico. Okay, so nothing gold can stay. So I guess what they're saying is you want to get down to this last will and testament. And it's interesting because it looks like along the way you can really improve relations with a lot of nearby nations and make them a lot stronger which probably means we'll be in a better diplomatic position depending on who we choose. I want somebody who's going to let me conquer the world. So I'm a little concerned that maybe we chose the wrong person, but who knows. Change in popularity in oligarchs. Standing guard. Military renovations. So this focuses primarily on oligarchs. We went for the oligarchs, so this makes sense. We want this. Then there's sowing the seed for democracy, which can give more civilians. So all that seems helpful. A helping hand, more political power gain. Interesting. If we had gone for technocracy, it sounds like we would have focused mostly on this. Huh. Well, I like the idea of political power gain to start, because I want to be able to renovate our economy as quickly as we can. Unfortunately, there's not enough world tension to even do early mobilization, so we're going to have to focus on something else. Army experience daily seems great, so let's go ahead and focus on that right now. When we have some world tension and the Kaiser does something stupid, maybe we can focus on the civilian economy. Okay, this is interesting. I'm really not sure what the best choice is going to be yet. I don't know what the differences are between the AIs. I'm assuming we'll be able to change our minds at some point if we want to, which would be great. Do we even have any... Oh, we have a lot of AIs. Look at this. They're all actual AIs. Focus on, like, actual Mexican historical figures. Ah, it's awesome. Ah, I love it. I like the animations for the AIs, by the way. It's pretty cool. Dismantling the cartels. Interesting. So what's happening with the Kaiser? Kaiser is doing something. New military academy going on over here. I wonder how all of this is going to interact with things like the Enclave Reborn mod. Which, by the way, is still an awesome mod. One of the best that was ever made. I am pretty confident. We no longer have enough robots. So what I want to do then is probably grab all of the robots themselves and make them into a separate group. So we are only using up infantry equipment and not robotic equipment as we do our training. Because right now, we're actually kind of hurting ourselves. So let's make them into a separate army. We'll put them all under the same non-existent field marshal. You train, you guys don't. Okay? That way we'll stop using up all of our robots, so we'll actually be able to start training up some new troops over time. Unless these guys are also using robots, which they shouldn't be. Let's make sure that's all turned off. I'll set you guys up against Santa Ana, I guess. Sure. So everyone gets assigned here. Everyone gets assigned here. That's fine. So we should start actually producing now, right? Yes. Okay, so now we're going to start getting out of that deficit. Don't ever want to be in a deficit if we can avoid it. That should be fine. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. We're going to be A-okay. How much political power do we get per day right now? A base value of 2. Okay. Moctezuma is apparently reducing it. So is this like a general advisor? Oh, wait, we can actually see them here. Oh, okay, hang on. Zapata, revolutionary farmer, population, recruitable population, consumer goods. Okay, so if we want to go for the heavy economic and peaceful democracy game, we go for Zapata. Moctezuma, the ancient warmonger. Looks like I chose the right one! Monthly population goes down, recruitable population goes up. Okay. And Maximilian, the bumbling politician? Interesting. So these guys actually cancel each other out completely. But it does give you some idea what kind of personality we have. If we go for Moctezuma, it looks like we do get to go heavy conquest and reform all of Mexico, which is my goal in this series, because y'all know I love the blob. So that's what we're gonna do. Sounds great. How are we doing in terms of construction? We are making some progress on civilian factories. Obviously, reducing the consumer goods would be ideal, but okay. Seems completely fine. This is awesome. Okay, I like that we're starting in a whole new region. It's like, it is old world blues, but it's so completely different from what everyone is familiar with a generic Fallout game. Like, this is a whole new thing based in Fallout instead. I love it. So, recognizing organic services, manpower, concessions, factory output goes down, but we have intellectual support, which I don't care about. Research bonus and industry seems good. Manpower, okay. I think I'm going to go for sowing the seed. Yeah, it gets me some extra democracy, but we get extra construction speed and production efficiency growth, which seems great, and that can lead to actually building up our economy. But I wonder, the more you go down like a specific national focus, does that improve the strength of each respective AI son? So that when we're done with that, the strongest ends up taking over. Like, am I actually accidentally choosing who my next leader is going to be? I don't know. I don't know at all. And it excites me, because I don't know what's going on. You wouldn't think I'd be so excited by not knowing what's going on, but I am. I am legitimately excited by having no clue what I'm doing. All right, let's go for the militia training just because I do like getting to eventually having better defense and so on. All of that seems pretty good. We're still ahead of time in all of our tech, so while I could focus on something specifically since I don't know how things are going to go once Tlaloc is dead, I'm not too worried about it at the moment. All right, so we've made, I think, some pretty solid progress here. Everyone is now regulars, so we have good, well-trained armies. We are building up our robot stockpile, so I'll start training up some new units soon enough. As we get our economy set up and we start working on buffing up specific members of our AI sons, I think if we can get down to Last Will and Testament quickly, we'll be able to maybe avoid a civil war. Or who knows, maybe there's no way to avoid it. We're going to have a three-way civil war. We choose a side and we beat the snot out of everyone else. I don't know yet. All I know is I think this is going to be really fun. I like the idea of playing as a degrading AI. I hope you guys enjoy it too. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask that you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I, as always, will see you guys next time.